Hello. The topic of a presentation is the influence of enormous information. Characteristics on learning trust and enormous attention for online learners. Contention 1. Introduction. 2. Literature review. 3. Methodology. 4. Analysis and hypothesis testing. 5. Conclusions. One. Introduction. As the industry of the modern society and through the Industrial Revolution, along with the development of information and communication technology and move from manufacturing to the service field, the online education field is becoming an important reality facing the challenge reality of online non-face-to-face classes. Between online use fast and wide also the everyday use of the online. High-speed internet and the popularization of smartphones are promoting the spread of e-mass intention. As access to online learning expands to the expense of non-face-to-face online learning channels, the proportion of online learning users is expected to increase further. However, since there is the difference in online learning experience and use for each person, the fact that influence the online learning trust by the characteristics of online or information formed by consent, vividness, and neutrality were derived in addition. The impacts of online learning trusts on online oral intention was studied. 2. Literature review. The 2 point on characteristics of online oral information: consent, vividness, neutrality, and information recipient do not know about the information source such as e-mass. The trust of the information is determined by inferring from the possible message clues. Looking at the previous studies on the characteristics of e-mass information, the characteristics that are commonly handled can be divided into 3 parts. First, consensus, which indicates the degree to which consumers agree with a specific product. Second, vividness, which means the degree of delivering specific and detailed information about an object by using various media tools. such, such as videos and images away from text-oriented oral information. Neutrality, which refers to the degree to which the article about online information about a specific product is described in a neutral position without being biased toward the positive or negative side. Consensus. The consensus of information in e-WOM refers to the degree to which two or more people agree on a product performance. H1. The consensus of the characteristics of e-WOM information will have a positive effect on trust. 2.12 Vividness. The vividness of the oral information presented can be defined as the message being emotional, entertaining, or clear, and imaginative. In a study by it was found that vivid oral information, which is very specific and that seems to have actually been experienced, increases the reliability of the recipient. As to the vividness of the characteristics of e-WOM information will have a positive effect on trust. 2.13 Neutrality. Neutrality refers to the degree to which the direction of the message is described in a neutral position rather than biased to one side. The message should be described in a neutral and not positive or negative about the product or service. H3. The neutrality of the characteristics of e-WOM information will have a positive effect on trust. 2.14 Online learning trust and e-WOM intention. In this study, learning trust is defined as the degree of belief that the brand of products provided on the online education site will strive to provide excellent products or service to customers in order to measure the online learning reliability. The measurement items are modified and used according to this study by H4. The higher the online learning trust, the more have a positive effect of mass intention. Sorry, methodology. 3.21 research model. In this study, in order to measure the relationship with variables previous studies were modified and based on the Likert 7-point scale. The vividness, the characteristics of ear of mouse is this bit and last prior research showing that the characteristics of ear of mouse information influence trust based on this. The research model was set up by modifying and using explain once again. Research model. In this study, in order to measure the relationship with the variables previous studies are modified and measured on the Likert 7-point scale, the vividness, the characteristics of ear mouse is Nisbet and last prior research showing that the characteristics of ear mouse information influence trust based on this. The research model was set up by modifying and using. This research model is shown in Figure 1. Figure 1, the research model. Point to research methods. The structure equals modeling was performed using moment structure analysis aims to test the correlation between the effects of the proposed online word of mouth information on learning confidence and online word of mouth intention. By examining the relationship between the concept of the model through and testing the model against the measured data obtained, we are able to confirm how well the proposed model the data analysis was used for almost 20 and SPSS 21. The analysis and hypothesis testing. Type 1 confirmatory fact analysis. Fact loading of more than 07 for each measurement item indicates the convergent validity as can be seen in Table 1. For analysis and hypothesis testing, Table 2, the discriminant validity was also assessed by comparing the AV with the scaled correlation with 1. All of the scaled correlation between the two constructs are less than the AV, which suggests that the constructs are distinct. Step 1. The structural model. created indicated acceptable goodness of p measures. All of the scaled correlation between the two constructors were less than the AB, which suggests construct or distinct. The examination of demographic characteristics indicates the respondent to be 49, for male, female, and P41. Terms of the age distribution, 64 of the responders was in the 20s, which might be a limitation of this study. The purpose of using online learning certificates 42 are obtained running study in various fields 10 to 7 hours study per day, 7 to 5 hours, 51 per day, word 90%. Assessment of the measurement model involves evaluations of reliability, convergent validity, and discriminant validity of the constructor measure. Generally, if the fact loading of each measurement item to each constructor is more than 0.7, the measurement item is considered valid. Table 3. Result of hypothesis testing. Table 4. Result of hypothesis testing. 5. Conclusions. In this study, based on previous studies, the effects of online trust on constitute fact of research variables on the characteristics of e-WOM mouse, information on e-WOM mouse. Intentions was verified as a result of hypothesis verification. It was found that the characteristic of e-WOM mouse information such as consensus, vividness, and neutrality had a positive effect on the online trust of recipients of e-WOM mouse information, and learning trust through online had a positive effect on e-WOM mouse intention. In other words, it was found that the higher the learning reliability in the e-WOM mouse information, the higher the e-WOM mouse information, and the behaviors to convey or recommend to online users increase. This study draws theoretical implications in that it provides the rationale for users of online education that will expand in the future, and reveals that the characteristics of online world of mouse information, such as constant vividness and neutrality, affect online learning trust and lead to the intention of online word of mouse. Thank you.